So guys, we are going to continue looking over our side control attacks. Alright, so we're going to review the attacks that we saw in the last week, and we're going to keep sharpening it up. Alright, a lot of us got it, but for everyone else, let's keep working. Alright, so I'm going to have top side control and piano. So a few things, guys, right? So first thing is I need to control this hip pocket, right? So now my chest has to be over his chest. And one of the best things about side control is forcing your partner to look away from you. So the way I'm going to do that is my middle finger is going to come right into the groove of his armpit. This hand is going to be open hand on the floor. I'm going to push the floor, I'm going to pull him in, and I'm going to roll my shoulder into his neck. If Keanu looks up or looks at me, it can even be like a choke. Like he can even put himself to sleep sometimes. Like you can put somebody to sleep just with one arm. It's possible, right? So a lot of times he's going to look away from me to alleviate pressure. And that's really good for me because if he's looking away from me, it's going to be much harder for him to bridge into me and to hip escape into me, right? So this is the first contact. Now, I always need to control the near hip. For example, new students do stuff like this, and then maybe there's a little gap, and then it's so easy to lose that spot, right? But my knee is not the only thing that I can use. Something that's very valuable that I can do is use my arm, all right? And a lot of guard passers, they do this, but it's not like they don't teach it, they don't talk about it, but they're always finding this spot with the hand on the floor. My wrist bone follows from there. So from here, I'm gonna pull him in, A, B, elbow goes onto the side. And now, everywhere Keanu goes, go ahead Keanu, hip escape into me. Like I can follow him and I can keep my wrist bone right where his hip is. Right? And this is just a really pesky and really annoying position for him to get out of, right? Now what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take my ribs and I'm gonna roll it on his face. So I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna do this, all right? So, because notice, when I switched with my elbow onto the floor, I lost my cross force, right? So now I'm gonna use my ribs, okay, just like that. Since this is for YouTube, we're gonna credit the guy that showed it to me. His name is Yves. For whatever reason, he retired. Good black belt, but ended up retiring from jiu-jitsu, but he showed this to me and it still works. Really, really strong position. And now you see it's really miserable for Keanu. My head's gonna be low, and now the first battle that I'm gonna win is gonna be this arm. This is the arm that's gonna be pushing on my hip, because this is where the opening is. So I'm gonna take that grip out of the equation, all right? As soon as I do that, now I'm ready to go for my north-south choke. So I'm gonna shoot my arm all the way through. As soon as I shoot my arm through, I'm gonna sink like a dead weight. Pop, right underneath his neck. A lot of times, guys, there's going to be a little gap right over here. So what I'm going to need to do is, all right, Kevin, walk to the side. I got to do everything on here. What I got to do is I got to finger walk on this side, just like that. All right, there we go. All right, so from here, I got to do this finger walk to make sure that my bicep is flush against his neck. My head's going to be back, and now, guys, I'm going to, in a straight line, I'm going to scooch back. The more I scooch back, the longer his neck gets, and when I throw my shoulder, he's going to tap. Okay, it becomes really, really, really strong. All right, so again, ribs on one side, bicep on the other. Ear on his chest to cover everything, right? So again, one more time. So I'm gonna be here, I'm pulling him in. As soon as I pull him in, I'm gonna switch. A, B. From that switch, guys, ribs on his face, cross-facing him with the ribs. Now you see that arm that's on my hip? I'm gonna take that arm out. As soon as I take that arm out, now this hand is gonna slide underneath. Now I'm gonna let my body do the work for me, all right? I'm gonna sink like a dead weight, just like that. Again, a lot of times, especially if your arm is a little bit thinner, you're gonna have a little gap, a little tiny gap on this side. So finger walk. To take that gap out, my head is always going to be close to him. I'm only lifting it to speak. Now I'm going to start to scoot back. Same line as Keanu, even a little bit towards his head. All right, and then from here he's going to tap. Okay, so this is part one. Part two is going to be when he starts to frame underneath my neck, and now it's hard for me to go down. All right, now this is a tough spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my arm that I was choking him with, and I'm going to bring my thumb towards my chest, and I'm going to isolate the opposite arm. I'm going to get onto my knees, and I'm going to walk towards the same side. Notice his wrist is on the wrong side of my head. So what I'm gonna need to do is look up and look over my left shoulder, the wrist pops. I'm gonna catch it with a kimura grip. All right. From here, guys, I gotta cover Keanu. I can't let him spin into me. The best way to do that is gonna be to loop his head right away, all right? Don't overcomplicate it. From here, flare your elbow, loop the head. As soon as I loop it, a really strong position is gonna look like this. I'm gonna sit down and throw my leg over his body, and then pause. From here, it's going to be almost impossible for Keanu to escape. Okay, I have so many different traps that I can put him in. First one is going to be the back take. All I got to do is fall to that side. Now I have my back attacks. I can always start to sit, unloop the head, throw my leg over his face. Or what Kevin likes, the guy that's recording right now that we can't see, is falling to this side and going for back triangles. All right, so we have all these different attacks that I can do just from that. All right, so if you know about it, do it. For the newer students, walk to that same side, pin that arm, step your opposite leg up, chest goes to the tricep, deadlift up and over to get the 10. All right? One more time to part 2. We're here, pulling in, block, block. I'm sprawling, I'm taking this arm out of the equation. He's pushing underneath my neck, he's creating some space. So I'm gonna collect that arm, walk to the same side, look up and over, wrist pops. To get the kimura finish, I'm gonna circle back over the opposite arm, step up. Don't just use your arms, connect your chest to a tricep, eject, and now throw a hook to get the finish. To finish the kimura, I'm turning my whole body, all right? So some of us guys were here at the wrestling workshop with Tim yesterday. Others are working a lot of different guard passes. So feel free to do a whole sequence. I'm gonna land you in side control. For example, you can do stand double leg from yesterday. You land in side control, run through this whole sequence. So you can do a guard passing sequence that you were working on, side control, run through the whole sequence. Or if you're a little bit newer, you want to get more reps in, feel free to start. Cool? Let's give it a try. I'm gonna give you a part. Guys, really quickly, let's just talk about, because some people are missing the biggest details here, guys. Forget about all the north-south choke. Come on, forget about all that. That's going to come as a consequence of the ribs. Because look, guys, if I'm here with Keanu, right, if I just try to go for the north-south like this, he's going to see him coming a mile away. He's going to intercept. Or, there's so much space. As I'm going here and I'm trying to go, he's going to put his armpit there, and then as I'm trying to do the choke, he's going to bring his knees into the chest and escape. Okay, guys, angle, okay. So you can see, you can't see anything here. Alright? So guys, when we're here, look. Alright? I switch A, I put my elbow B. Guys, the whole technique, this is, you can summarize it in one sentence, this. Once I get here, Keanu, move around. Guys, this is a miserable place to be in. And Elton, look, you see my knees? Like, I'm not like this. Like, this is taking away some weight off me. I completely sprawl. Like, I'm like super heavy onto the floor. I'm dead weight. It's like I'm almost like a child that doesn't want to be picked up. And then from here, now I get to attack. And by the way, I can show the north-south choke, and I can go straight for the kimura. Right over here. From here, all right, his arm got caught in this spot. I can start to go for the arms. I can go to that same spot, pull him onto the side, and start that. I can do so many different things. Okay, but that's where that's a whole technique. It's a concept. Don't overthink it with this choke, that choke. Forget it. North-south choke is very clean there, but you have to get this right. If you don't get this right, forget it. It's not going to work. Cool? Let's go 3, 4 more minutes.
So from here, I have a good side control, I have a good cross space. My elbows by his hip, my knees by his hip. We're looking pretty good here. But my corner wants to escape. So he's going to look to get his underhook in. Right? And it, right? As he goes for his underhook, right, if I do nothing, he can wrestle out of it. So, as he starts to do this, before he can build up to his elbow, I'm going to dip my elbow in front of his ribs just like this. Okay? So I'm not necessarily throwing in a wizard, I'm just crunching on that underhook. I'm going to do like a karate chop on his neck, and I'm going to step my leg up just like this. Okay? From here, I can't stay here forever, it just buys me some time. So as I feel him fighting, I'm going to take a step over his head. Okay? Now, I'm going to do what I call rocking the baby. So my hands are like this, and I'm turning. As I turn, I'm dropping this knee and lifting this one with a really hard back step. I'm dropping my elbow, and I'm back stepping just like this, okay? Notice my hips are not on the ground. All my weight is on Keanu. So now I'm going to turn, square up, putting pressure, get my seatbelt, and I can sit real high. So now when Keanu puts his knee in his block, very difficult for him to stop, ideal. I'm stepping through, twisting him up, getting to my body triangle, getting my hooks. Either way, I'm like that. So I'm here, cross face, pressure, and goes for his underhook. As it's coming, I'm stuffing, okay? Stuffing with my elbow, setting my leg up, and I'm karate chopping his neck right here. It's difficult for it to come up. I'm stepping over, dropping this knee, dropping my elbow inside, and back stepping. From here, I'm not letting my hips on the floor. I'm just pulling my knee out from under me. Putting pressure always with my chest. I'm going to grab his wrist, grab my wrist. Now I have my kimura trap. I can take a second. I can go for my back take here, but usually we're going to deal with this knee here. So I'd rather just shoot my knee past his head and sit right above him. Throw my foot inside, heel first. Not starting with my toes, it's awkward. Heel first, start to fall, and as I fall, I'm hoisting him up. Look at this grip. I'm taking it back. You guys see that again? Just use them. Stuffing. Okay? I don't have to wiggle. I can just stuff you. Stepping over. This is the part where I see a lot of people get confused. Stepping over. I'm just dropping my knee. Okay? As I drop my knee, I'm throwing my elbow inside, and as I throw my elbow outside, I like to throw a big back step because sometimes they like to try to hold your neck here. Hold on, my belly. Okay, so now my hips are facing the side. Okay, from here, real easy. I'm really just pulling my foot back from under. Putting a lot of pressure on the body. Keep it standing. Now I can sit, keep defending, doesn't matter. Foot goes through. I pull, put my foot on foot, body triangle, get my hooks. I really like to take the back. I really like just doing this. But got the back. Got it? I'll help you out if you need to.